Alright, how's everybody doing? This is video 15 of my 98 Grand Cherokee 4.0 rebuild. And as you can see, the motor's finally in. Don't have the intake on. Some parts that I gotta replace that I got a good look at when the engine was out. And one's the radiator. I know I have it tied back in, but I started thinking about it, and I'm gonna replace it because it's got some pretty bad rust and corrosion on the front side. And where my fan clutch was, I was playing around with that when I was over at my neighbor's house, and before I dropped it in here, I was spinning it and noticed that it's completely shot. It started spinning real free, and it shouldn't. And the shaft is, I mean, I can literally take it and wiggle it back for, like this. So that might be the reason, and I'm guessing that's the reason why the engine overheated with the previous owner. But you can see I got the engine mounts in, everything's bolted up. Getting a little rusty in certain areas, but that's okay because I'm going to clean it up before I put the gasket on, but I still have my tape on there. Got this bracket loosely hung in here right now. But I got AC bracket put back in, the alternators put back in, and there's an idler pulley right down in here that's put back in. I went across some of the wires. Now this is what I was talking about. Where is it? Going down here. That's your grounding point. I got a couple ground wires going to it. So before I took those and I bolted them down, I took the terminals themselves on the ends of the wire, cleaned them up, and then put dielectric grease on them to keep them from rusting. So it's always going to have a good connection now. Same with all the plugs. Same with the tip of this. This has got dielectric on it. I got the wires tied up back there. Probably wondering what all this mass is. I got a 250 amp A&L fuse, and all my wires going up to the battery. Now I use the top posts here for the engine control and all that stuff, and then I use these back side posts here for my power inverter, which I have mounted all the way underneath. I got tools in there right now, but I got it mounted underneath my rear seat. So engine's in finally, and I'm starting to tidy things up, but money's been a little tight right now. So what I'm gonna do before I put the intake back on is back over here on the top part of the tranny, right where that coil of stuff is. I'm going to put the new crankshaft sensor in before I put the intake back on. I got the intake and exhaust to put back on, and then I got I'm going to get a new distributor, and I'm going to take the old one and use the old distributor as my priming tool to prime the motor with oil. So as of right now, while I'm doing that, I'm waiting for, radiator, fan clutch, sensors, and the distributor. I'm going to take all these power wires out of here and redress them all and get a new cable from the starter all the way up to the battery. And then I'm going to clean up all the connections that go to the alternator, and then underneath here I got, get this damn cover off. You got your link here. This comes straight, one side comes straight off the battery, and then you got a post here, and then this is your fusible link. And you can just see that right there. That doesn't really fly with me. So, and that's a power connection, and you can fault out from that kind of stuff. So that's just one thing that you got to really look for. Just run across all your grounds. And if you see a lot of rust, clean it up, because rust doesn't, power doesn't go through rusty spots, it goes through clean surfaces. So before you put it all back together, my suggestion is just use dielectric grease, because it keeps all the moisture off of it, and then it gives you a good connection. So that's what I'm going to be doing with all these cables. The small wires and stuff like that go to the your sensors and whatnot, I'm not really going to worry about those too much. I did the infamous changing of the screws. You can see them up here on the front of the ECM. And then I also, before I did that, I zipped down, or before I put this coolant reservoir back in, I ran zip ties around these connectors here, and there's 3 of them, so I got 6 zip ties total, and they're large, just to make sure that they stay tight. So I'm gonna see how this rolls. I'm hoping that I get rid of my hesitations that I had before. So if not, I'm honestly gonna boil it down to really being a problem with the ECM. But I'm also gonna check my sensors and all that stuff before I go ahead and start replacing that. So there's still some work to do, but it's getting there, and I'm getting anxious to fire it up and drive this thing again, because dang it, I miss it. Love it. Not bad for being, gosh, was it 14 years old now? So, and it's, like I said, I picked it up pretty cheap, and it's pretty darn clean. I just have my tools and stuff back here for right now, but I mean, fully loaded, sunroof and all, everything works on it too for $2,500. And I knew I was going to get into some engine work. That's why I agreed to the price. So I'm like, okay, so I did it. Now I got the engine out and put back in, and that's it. I mean, pretty clean. So this is the kind of stuff you can find, like I mentioned in my first video. Not bad. So this is my update for now. Hopefully the next one will be me either firing it up, or I'm going to show one of my viewers how to prime the motor with oil, and go from there. Thanks for viewing, guys.